Can you believe it? It's a double whammy. I couldn't believe it myself. I'm not sure if I'm uploading this back to back within the same day of the bingo episode, but we're here. We're doing a day 3.5. Whatever. I don't know. I probably will upload this tomorrow, or when I say tomorrow, it's probably the day I uploaded it today. I'm fucking confusing everything here, but we're gonna be stuck with the boiler for a little while, but we're gonna talk about a few things from my past. I used to play soccer. Hard to believe. Yeah, if you've seen my face, I know I'm a pretty heavy boy. I'm a fat piece of shit, as one might describe me. But I remember playing soccer as a kid and having fun with it. I used to play with him in my school and, participate in leagues and league cups, I guess. And I'm gonna talk about it here just because I kind of was reminiscing a bit as I was visiting my old school and thinking back, damn, I used to have kind of fun playing the soccer league here. And don't get me wrong, we never really won anything there, just because of we weren't. It wasn't that we were bad. I think I played for like 3 seasons there. First season we actually made it pretty close. We actually made it towards the semifinals, I think, of the tournament there, and we lost at a home game. And I was goalie that day, and I told my coach, I don't play goalie. I play defense. Don't put me in goalie. So I hated it. And the reason why I was putting goal was because, yes, I was still a fat kid even back then, but also I didn't have the confidence that I had as a goalie back then to actually commit to actually challenging it. Like if someone were to run through, like I could push up, but sometimes that could leave me open to the person who's running up towards goal could just sidestep like in Tekken and just shoot the ball there, which it was something that never really happened to me. It only happened to me once, but usually I was pretty good in clearing those challenges every now and then whenever that happened. But the main reason why I was playing goal was because our main goalie wasn't here, or at least I think he transferred schools towards the late stages of our season, which kind of fucking sucked because we were having a pretty good run. We were pretty undefeated up until he left. We lost one game and then managed to kind of scrape by towards the round of 16s and quarterfinals, and then we lost at a home game, which we lost 2-1. And I blame myself. I was crying. I was crying like a little bitch because of that whole thing. But I think that was as far as my first season there. That was as pretty close as we got to it. My second season playing for that school, we were terrible. We were completely ass. We had great chemistry. It was a shame that our defense sucked. And yes, I was the defense. I was also part of the defense. But goddamn, I don't think I've ever seen a goalie so stubborn to play goalie when he was so bad at playing goalie. I remember our first game of the second season. I remember we went out. We were at a away game, right? Because we were away. We weren't home. I don't think we had any home games that season either, for some reason. But I remember vividly, we lost 7-2 in our first game, in our second season. 7-2, which was pretty fucking terrible, right? And I was just like, damn, this is going to be a long season. And it was a pretty bad season. I think out of our record, I think we won 2 games out of 18 games that were played that season. And yeah, it was just bad. We only managed to beat the other worst team there of that league that year. Which, I guess at least we weren't the worst team of that season, but we were definitely one of the bottom four teams that were kind of just ass. But yeah, we were still kids. It's a shame that that season went terribly. I remember there was one game again. Like I was a pretty emotional kid back then. In terms of like sports, I cried the first season when we lost in the semifinals because we could have actually won that game. We could have gone in extra time, but we didn't. And it was on me, and I put that shit on me. The second time, that shit was not even on me, dude. It was the fact that we were playing at another away game. We were playing against a team. It was a really close game as well. We were kind of struggling a lot, so we were playing a lot of catch up the entire time to make sure that we at least kind of drew or at least had a chance of actually winning. And the best part about it was that the other team was scoring first. We were down 3-0, and then towards the end of the game we were catching up. It was 3-3, but it's that required our front line to actually keep the ball in their side of the half, because the other team was getting tired because they were kind of outpacing us from the very start. But the issue was that our defense, at least from what I remember trying to make a challenge for the ball, and it slid through me, right? And then as I see the ball going into our net, I see one of our defense just standing there. The other one reaches out for it, but it's kind of like a low effort reach where it's kind of they move their bodies instead of their legs, and our goalie just kind of flinches at it, right? And I remember being so pissed off that I kind of walked out. I walked out of that fucking field crying, because I remember I told them what were you guys doing? And they kind of blamed me for not making that challenge first. I'm like, what do you mean? I was the only one, making that challenge, and no one else helped me push. No one was pushing up. No one was pushing. They were kind of within our, stuck in between each other within our lines. I was the only one who kind of made that challenge because he was within my direction. Yeah, I could have made a better clear, but if someone, if I mess up, I need someone at least be there, open, ready. And I understand, looking back at it now, it was such a silly thing to get mad at. But I was kind of devastated at that whole game, because we did end up losing 4-3. And that kind of was just dude, I was kind of annoyed. I didn't really consider quitting, but I was just it's whatever. It is what it is. And at least our main goal that season wasn't that to make it to a championship game or anything like that. That season goal was to actually win a game, which we won too, but it was against the same team. So that was that was a rough season. My third season there was actually pretty okay. Mind you, we didn't really make it that far in terms of actually making it towards the semifinals. So we didn't have a deep run within our tournament that season. We did make it towards the quarterfinals, but we did end up losing because I wasn't able. Again, I'm not gonna say oh, I'm the main reason why we couldn't win. No, I was just average. I'm not gonna say I'm all that. I think at most someone compared me to Gaylor Navas one game because I was playing pretty good, but I was kind of inconsistent at times in terms of actually being goalie sometimes, because I think sometimes gut feeling if it was oh, I should reach out for the ball, I should start diving, but then I just don't. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking Neuer of the children's soccer game, whatever the fuck, but I was for what we had in terms of our team that season, I was probably the only one who could have realistically played goalie, because no one else wanted to play goalie, and I was I wanted to play midfield, and I'm a fat kid who wants to play midfield, and that's the most that requires a lot of work. That requires the middleman to run back and forth each time to either help the front or help the back, which I looking back at it now, I was fucking stupid for even wanting to play that position. Like if I wanted to play like not in net, I would probably play defense again. But then again, I don't have stamina for that shit anymore because I'm still fat. But I remember there was like this one home game that we played, and we won 5-1. And I remember it being a home game for once, actually, because we'd still play away games. We played a lot more away games, but I think we had like a couple home games, and that home game was the one that I remember the most because people were actually on their feet when I remember this because I remember people were on their feet when I made like a really good save because one of the we actually lost the ball towards like the end of it, and someone was trying to make I think it was a chip shot that someone would try to make like over me because I was running up towards them, and then they made it like it was a fastball, but it was like kind of a chip shot as well. So I was able to actually reach it. I actually jumped, like it was like fucking Peter Griffin and Green FN meme. It was like, oh, like Green FN, and it's just Peter Griffin just shooting a basket, and he's like a jump shot, right? And I actually like kind of dove for the ball, and I actually saved it. And it was like a corner kick, and I was like, oh, and then like I didn't really react to it at first until I like got out from the ground, and people were kind of like cheering. It's like, oh, this, and and that actually helped us because like around that time it was kind of like 2-0. We were still winning, but I think that helped elevate the actual team to actually scoring more goals instead of like what we had originally thought. I was like, oh, we should just build a wall and just like protect the entire time because we could literally hold on to the lead if we wanted to, but we chose to extend the lead by like 4, if anything. So yeah, that was kind of like a lot of memories that I had with like playing soccer as a kid. And I remember during middle school I was like, should I apply for like the middle school soccer league there? And by that point I like originally I didn't really want to move schools, but I ended up doing it just because of opportunities that I had that probably wasn't going to reach ever again, which I kind of feel that's its own different story. But I remember it I looked at the application, took it, and I went to the field that they were hosting, and I remember just seeing hundreds of kids, like at least over 100 kids there, like actually warming up to actually, it's like basically like tryouts. Basically 100 people showed up, and I immediately looked at the flyer, looked back at the field, and I just kind of walked home just because I was like, I'm not about to make that like roster of like people to play. And sometimes I regret it, but then again life kind of hits you differently, and different passions happen. And by that point I was kind of losing it as well. Like granted, if I feel like I stayed in my old school, I probably could have made a team, but then again that would have required me doing tryouts, which again, being a heavy kid, would have required me to actually been on the diet. I'm not sure if I would have actually been on that diet or anything like that. I probably could have, but then again, that's like its own different universe. So who fucking knows? But every now and then I'll dabble, like even now, like since I finished high school about a year ago, and every now and then I'd hang out with my cousins. We go out to a field, and we'll play like some like random pickup game with like other people, mostly Hispanics, because there's like a heavily Hispanic neighborhood. So we'd usually just pick up games with them, and it was kind of a weird one actually as well, because there was like this weird story. Like remember we went to like a field. And there's like, man, they have like 3 fields, but like sometimes people renovate like entire field because of either practice or just other things that they're doing, like baseball, ultimate frisbee, or rugby. And so I remember we went to this one field, and we were like, oh shit, we have nowhere to play, right? And then we saw this one guy come up to us and say, hey, do you guys want to play soccer with us? He goes, sure. And then more people wanted to join, and then people wanted to do money matches for like $10 each for each person on the team, right? So it was basically teams of 5, $10 a piece, $50 on the line per game. And I go, what the fuck is this? We're not paying $10 just to play soccer. And then we just fucked off and we just went away. And we ended up finding a different pickup game nearby, which we didn't have to pay. And we had much more fun there than picking the pickup game that you had to pay, which was fucking stupid. It was like literally just like, oh, like free money for them, because I'm not gonna fucking say that, oh, we would have won easily or felt like bad. Like, no, we were ass. We were, by that point, me and my cousins haven't really played soccer seriously like that in like years. So by all definition, we were kind of fucked if we even decided to play the $50 money match of soccer with like random strangers that we don't know. And even if we just fucking did and then we didn't want to pay, we probably could have gone mugged or anything. Like some motherfucker had a gun on him or something like that. So who fucking knows? But we just didn't do it just because it was fucking stupid. But yeah, I do miss playing soccer sometimes, like in terms of a league standpoint. I remember seeing like a poster for like the high school league. Like, oh, I don't have time for that. I have things to do at home. And you might be wondering, well, oh, Ed, what could you possibly be doing at home that's so important for you not to play soccer? I'm like, that's where you're wrong. That's when I was doing live streams and shit like that, man. I was streaming back then. And yeah, I didn't really consider playing during high school. I mean, I would play during PE, which was like indoor soccer, and I was always in net because that was where I was mostly comfortable playing. I did pretty okay even then. I thought I was like pretty decent at net, but just because like the goals were just I wouldn't say the goal nets were small for indoor soccer. They were pretty decently sized for like for what it was. For the amount of space we surely had like enough space to actually score during indoor soccer, which was pretty fun. And I actually I'm gonna share this story. I'm actually gonna share this story. I remember. So I had PE. Well, technically it's PE, but first off, it was like it was more like I forgot what it was called. But I remember I had it for like senior year of high school. It was like a sort of PE program where it's more like talks about like health medicine, basically, like sports medicine, or whatever the fuck it's called. But every now and when we were finished like doing our work, our coach would be like, yo, you could chill outside and play with the other classes, in terms of sports and PE classes. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty chill. And I decided playing that. Mind you, I'm wearing khaki pants and just this regular school uniform, right? And during the game, we were just kind of just playing around. And I was in that. I saw someone make the push to score a goal because he was by himself. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I have to push, right? And I went for a dive and immediately ripped my pants. I ripped my fucking pants, like fucking SpongeBob SquarePants of all characters, right? And it was such a awkward moment because I was like, fuck, how am I going to get to class now with my ripped pants? And so I just, the entire time I was like, I'm walking around the hallways with a stick up my ass, like hiding the absolutely ripped pants with like my Chromebook. And thankfully I had like usually I wear two pants. I had like a PJ kind of outfit where it's like a all black thing. And it's like just like something I wear underneath my pants in case it was like cold. And thankfully it was like during the winter time, because fuck me if I was wearing just like pants and underwear. I was like, I'd be like, oh hell no, I would rather kill myself than just walk around like that. But it wasn't like, it was still pretty embarrassing to even walk around with that thing, like with the hole in my pants and like the underneath pants as well. But like it was more bearable at least because I could at least cover with my fucking Chromebook, and people would just assume, oh, he just has like a weird shaped Chromebook, whatever the fuck. And I went to my next class like that, right? And so I just like anytime I was like sitting down. Thankfully, I never got called up to do anything during math class. Because I just kind of sat in the back of the class, just hide from everyone. And I made sure I was hiding this time around that day. And so I was just kind of hiding my pants with like my Chromebook case. I just like opened it wide, just let that shit stay there and have my Chromebook out of the Chromebook case. And then after it was time to go home, I was like, "Fuck!" I had to walk home. Well, I didn't really have to walk home. I was riding with someone during that time. But I told him what happened. It's like, dude, I ripped my pants, and he goes, "That's the funniest shit you said to me all day." And he fucking dropped me off home, and then he fucking watched me as if like I was like fucking constipated, try to walk to my own door, open the keys without like having to like drop it, because sometimes I would drop it, right, and he'd be like, "Yo, bro, you trying to bend down?" I'm like, "Hell no, get the fuck out of my house, man." And he'd drive off. But like I didn't, luckily I didn't do that. Shit didn't happen. So I was like, I looked at him, I flipped him off, and he just fucking rides off. It's just so fucking stupid. But yeah, I ripped my pants playing soccer. Actually, I forget how many times I ripped my pants playing like just regular soccer. Just because like, I don't think it was pretty often, but I think it happened. I think maybe twice that year. I think. I'm not sure. I have dementia, I think. But that'd be all for today. Bye-bye.